Mario. No,
Mario.
Mario. I can do Luigi, no problem, but Mario, for some reason, I struggle with. Mario.
Just remember, they're Mario and Luigi Mario.
This character has come to define, like, just gaming. Just, he gets 3 to 4 titles every year, and people still buy them. Like, game franchises like Assassin's Creed. Games like Assassin's Creed wish they could sell like this. Like, they wish they could just... But what they don't understand is that every time a game comes out, it is radically different to the last one. Unless it's Mario Party, but that's another topic entirely. One of the franchises that has been going for a very long time is Paper Mario, which includes, not surprisingly, Paper Mario. Paper Mario, the Thousand-Year Door.
My gasp.
Super Paper Mario. By the way, it's all downhill from here. Paper Mario Sticker Star.
Thousand-Year Door.
Mario and Luigi.
Splash.
Paper Jam. Does that count? Because that feels like
I don't count it.
Okay.
I've never counted it as part of it.
But they're paper characters. They just combine the two games. Paper Mario.
It's one of those like gray area because it's Mario and Luigi and at the same time trying to be Paper Mario, and I think it's one of those that I'm too upset and have too much Nintendo angst with the fact of them taking things away from Paper Mario, so like I just refuse to group it in with Paper Mario.
Nintendo angst. That's it. Paper Mario Color Splash and Paper Mario the Origami King. We're going to start talking about the franchise.
Origami King.
We're going to talk about the franchise before we talk about the Thousand-Year Door. So, I personally started with the GameCube version, the Thousand-Year Door, and it is easily, I would say it's probably my favorite Mario game of all time. What about yourself, Teshi?
I started with Thousand-Year Door. Then played the original, then played the other ones. Super was still great. I still enjoyed Super a lot. But Color Splash and Sticker Star, I just kind of wish I didn't play sometimes. Because, like, you know how people view Mario games as being for kids? Like, those were the most kid sort of games I've played in a really, really long time.
That is a
And, like, I feel like that was the main thing that turned me off of them, is that, like, it made me feel as if they just dumbed down the series to the absolute bare minimum they could do it.
And is that dumbing it down story and theme wise, or is that also gameplay?
All
of it?
Yeah.
That's a
stories basically became non-existent. Characters became lifeless and soulless. Characters weren't allowed to be unique anymore.
Yeah. Let's talk about that one for a second.
Rumble.
A while back, Nintendo brought in this policy where you couldn't develop new characters within the franchise. So all the Toads now look like Toad, whereas in the Thousand-Year Door, they have all these their own unique personalities and characteristics and appearances.
And have Goombella literally be like, oh, this is Goombario. Oh, this is Goombro. Oh, this is Goomer.
Okay.
And like,
okay, did you really have to say that name?
I was making it up at that point. I'm sorry. That was just the first thing that popped in my head for the third name.
Goomer.
Okay, Goomer.
Okay, Goomer. That is not where my mind went.
That's the new thing, calling someone a Goomer. You know they're a goofy goomer. It's not a goofy goober
Please stop
anymore.
saying that. So makes me so uncomfortable.
But it's just like,
And if you don't know why,
each little individual character had their
don't-
own name and personality and stuff, and it was great.
if you don't know why that makes me uncomfortable, I admire your innocence. So here's an example of some of the characters from Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, and like you've got a depressed captain, and that guy in the bottom left is like he's basically an awkward nerd. He's every anime protagonist ever. He's like super lame, but he's totally going to save the world, and his girlfriend has no agency and is always worried about him. So
And attacks him for going with Mario off to defeat Hooktail.
and they just have lots of really good personality, and they're just interesting, fun characters. But then Super Paper Mario came out, and I will defend this game because I do think that Super Paper Mario
It's still great.
is a
That's
great
when they
game.
ditched the turn base, right?
No, this actually ditched the turn-based and became. Wow, this game came out so long ago. There's no trailers of it.
We didn't have video back then.
We didn't have. You joke, but you're not far off.
Sound right.
There's an IGN video. Check out the quality of this video. Look at the resolution on that thing. So this is like, what would happen if you took a Mario game and added 3D to it? Like a 2D Mario game where everything's flat, but then you can just turn everything 3D. That was its defining mechanic, and that was a really short trailer which didn't even show off the mechanic.
And it was such a cool mechanic.
Yeah, but it was just a fun, and it still had the humor, and it still had the unique characters, and you could head stomp things with Peach and Bowser, Giant Peach. Fucking it's so good. Like if we could just
Arguably
get on,
has one of the best bosses, like best main bad guy.
yeah. And it was visually, you probably can't tell from this, but it was visually very creative. Here's some actual gameplay. Your princess has been taken by Count Black.
Mario!
He's a completely unique character. Getting married to. Do you take Bowser to be your lawfully wedded husband? No. God, this is giving me kind of flashbacks.
So it's after Super Paper Mario
Yes.
for you that the series went downhill.
And it went downhill bad. And
And how do you describe it?
is.
As she was saying, it got too
It super went
simplified or
downhill.
too kid-like. What was it for you?
what basically happened is the series called Mario and Luigi came out. And Mario and Luigi was a turn-based RPG with very similar mechanics to what Paper Mario had, the Thousand-Year Door. So they were like, it's going to be redundant to make a game with the exact same mechanics twice, because that's not what Nintendo does. They like to switch it up.
Mhm.
So they had to make Paper Mario something different. They've first of all, they got rid of all the unique characters, and the humor just kind of disappeared out of the series. See, it's just a Toad. Like, it's just a Toad. There's nothing. The funniness, the kind
No
of dark
color,
humor kind of went away.
nothing.
And the gameplay was designed in such a way where you were never really advancing in any meaningful way. Like, it was so easy, it was so basic, you weren't really leveling. And it
So
just
did that open it up to a wider audience? Like, what was the reception like?
from the fans, I don't know how it ever sold, but the fans universally just don't like these games.
Right.
They're like, yeah, these are just, and it still has, like, come on, a giant fan, that's kind of funny, but that's the exception as opposed to the rule. And like, you've just got 500 identical enemies, and the mechanics just aren't fun. That to me is it. They're just, it's just not that fun.
It kind of reminds
It's
me
not
of
captivating at all anymore.
it's sort of like with the Ratchet and Clank series when they kind of rebooted it in, I don't know, what was that, like 2016 or 18 or something. they changed the character. Like he had always been real irreverent and had almost off-color jokes, and it was humor designed for like 12-year-olds. And then when they rebooted it, they kind of sanitized his character, and it was more like it was made for 8-year-olds. And the games, they're fun, they're beautiful, it's all that, but the style of writing, kind of what you were talking about, Teshi, where it feels like they aimed at a lower demographic, and it really, kind of
Yeah.
like when you sit down and play with a kid versus, something that is a little more interesting.
Hmm.
I feel like this is kind of something that is true of Nintendo in general. If you look at the Animal Crossing series back in the older games, the villagers would say stuff that was like, "Oh wow, I can't believe you!" Like, if you're an adult, you get the jokes,
Right.
you get the references, and even in the newest Animal Crossing, a lot it's very very sanitized. They're like, they make Tom Nook very nice. Like, they don't want you to think he's actually an evil corporate overlord that is abusing you, because that's funny, but maybe we don't need 5,000 toads. Maybe we should, and maybe that's why they released the Paper Mario remake, so that they could be like, let's see if people are actually still interested in this old style of game.
I believe that's actually something they are leaning towards, because they sent out a survey literally to like everyone playing the game. And in the survey, it was flat out asking if we wanted original characters again.
Yes. Characters.
And like that's literally the resounding answer across the board, is just everyone like, oh, Nintendo, are you going to listen to us? We're scared to hope, but please tell us you are listening to us.
That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. But like, apparently a lot of this had to do with like Super Nintendo World, and they just want, like, it meant they didn't have to create lots of different dolls and stuff because there would only be one Toad. But I would love to see like Gumbella. They could just get a normal Toad and dress her up in a Gumbella outfit and just have her around the park for like a certain time of the year when the game comes out. And that's the sort of thing that I think that fans would actually like to see, because this company has such a rich history of these unique ideas. And they're not just, they've created this they have this reputation that they just churn the same thing out all the time, but they actually don't, because it's very rare that any of their games get a direct sequel.
Like, yeah, the like 2D side scroller Mario games, yeah, they're similar because they have the same like gameplay.
But when you think
aspects
about it,
at
we've
its
only
core,
gotten two
but
of those
like
in like
each
the
level
last
is
decade. Because their new policy is like,
because now they're doing the 3D Mario games as well.
yeah, but they're also doing.
But it's just the point that all of those, yes, those specific ones are similar to each other. Like, they kind of have like these bubbles for the Mario games. Like, there's this huge umbrella for Mario games, and then we have like the world games, we have the Galaxy games.
Agreed. And they're not a derivative company because the games are so diverse, despite using the same basic set of characters.
And that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, certain ones are similar because they're in those bubbles. But like, if you look at the whole umbrella of Mario, it's like, here's like 20 bubbles of Mario.
I feel like with Paper Mario, they forgot about that. I feel like they couldn't figure out how to make this unique and different. Origami King isn't terrible. It is certainly their best attempt.
They tried to go back in the good direction. Like, I will give them props on the effort. I enjoyed it for what it was. I actually finished it, unlike I did not want to finish
The others,
Sticker Star or Color Splash. Like, I will fully admit it, they are games that I have and I've never beaten, and I'm probably never going to beat. But like, I still stuck it through with Origami King.
So the thing about this game is that Paper has discovered something terrifying. Depth. 3D. Like, the Paper has shape now. It's mind-blowing. Look at Peach, it's terrifying. So they still have the problem with all the Goombas and toads and stuff looking the same, but they kind of get around the whole original character thing by like having unique characters be like a stapler. Like, it's not really a character.
Or like the colored pencils and the tape boss.
Yeah. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. Hey there, folks. I know nobody wants to listen to a creator shill themselves for 90 seconds, so I'm not going to. If you enjoyed this, we do the show live every Sunday on Twitch at 6 p.m. BST. Feel free to pop over TNEQL. And if you would like to support us in making the channel bigger and helping it grow, you can also check us out on Patreon, also as TNEQL. Take care of yourselves. Stay beautiful.